Hi, ladies. I was looking through First Chronicles and I found something that I thought was interesting. David in First Chronicles 21 decides to take a census. And even back in 1 Samuel at the end, 2 Samuel at the end of 24, he starts talking about doing this census. And Joab, who was his nephew, but also one of his right-hand men, really didn't want him to do this and said, "You don't need to be doing this. Why would you want to do it? May God just give you lots of men. And you don't need to do this because you're not doing it for God. You're doing it for yourself. You're wanting to see how many people you've got following you." And David just insisted he was going to do it. Well, Joab, being the lower man on the totem pole, had to go ahead and do it. Now, Joab did do a couple of good things. He didn't count the tribe of Levi, and he also didn't count Benjamin. But Benjamin was also part of Judah, so it kind of worked together. And it says in Deuteronomy, don't count the tribe of Levi in a census. So after he did the census, God was not happy about this. And a prophet named Gad came to David and said, "Hey, God's not happy with you doing this census. You weren't doing it for him." David repented, said, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that." And Gad says, "Well, he's given you 3 choices of what can happen." Now, God doesn't usually give us choices for our punishment, but in this case he does. And he gave David the choice of 3 years of famine, 3 years of devastation while the sword overtakes them, or 3 days of the sword of the Lord, pestilence in the land, and the angel of the Lord destroying throughout the land of Israel. Well, David said to Gad, "I'm in great distress. Let me fall into the hand of the Lord, for his mercy is very great. But do not let me fall into the hand of man." So he knew that if God was in charge of the punishment, there was a chance that mercy would prevail. Whereas with man, no mercy was going to prevail. So he went ahead and he went with number 3. And which was the sword of the Lord, pestilence in the land, and the angel destroying everything. So the Lord sent a pestilence on Israel, and 70,000 men of Israel fell. And God sent the angel to Jerusalem to destroy it. But as he was about to destroy it, the Lord saw, and he relented from the calamity. He said to the angel who was working destruction, "It is enough. Now stay your hand." And David built an altar there to the Lord and presented burnt offerings and peace offerings and called on the Lord. And the Lord answered him with fire from heaven upon the altar of burnt offering. The Lord commanded the angel, and he put his sword back into its sheath. So this kind of made me think about what we're going through right now. We don't know where this virus comes from. We don't know if this is all due to sin. God knows. God knows the future. God knows what's going to happen. I keep having to tell myself that because I get really down about some of this stuff too and frustrated. And I have to remember that God knows and God is merciful. And I do believe that one of these days, God is going to say, "That is enough. Stay your hand." And it'll be done. See you later.